Welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast with Jacob Ayers, providing actionable content to help you along your journey to financial freedom through real estate investing. As the premier asset class, real estate has helped ordinary people just like you amass fortunes. The benefits of passive income from real estate investing will allow you to live a life you want. And now your host, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and apartment deal syndicator, Jacob Ayers.
Hi, and welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, episode 55. You're listening to Friday Fundamentals with your host, Jacob Ayers. First, I want to give a quick shout out to a 5-star review on iTunes. This 5-star review from Bonnie Cribbs says, "Love this. I've been thinking about diving into the world of real estate investing, and this podcast is such an incredible resource to help me understand what this new world is all about." Thank you all for the great reviews. I'm glad you're getting value out of this show. Now, with listeners from over 25 different nations, I bring to you this week's episode of Friday Fundamentals. This week's Friday Fundamental is be a problem solver. As a real estate investor, it's your job to be a problem solver above anything else. If you aren't solving any problems, then what are you really doing? If you can learn to solve other people's problems for them in a way that benefits both them and you'll be much more successful as a real estate investor. The problem with a lot of folks who are trying to invest in real estate is they aren't seeking out problems and solutions to those problems. If you aren't providing solutions to problems, but rather just making offers and going through the motions, then nothing sets you apart and you're just another commodity. Not you, though. You are an action taker. How do I know this? Well, for one, you're listening to this podcast and educating yourself. When you're equipped with the knowledge and resources, you are more prepared to bring solutions to those who need them. Let's look at a few different ways in which you can identify problems. First, look for properties that are distressed. Distressed properties provide opportunities for you to provide value by bringing them back up to par. Look for motivated sellers, often the owners of those distressed properties. These sellers can be motivated by many things. They may be behind on the property financially, or dealing with difficult tenants, or are having trouble managing it, or maybe they inherited it and don't want it, but don't know how to go about selling it confidently. Search for targets in which you know you can provide value. Maybe that's your specific sub-market or neighborhood, or favorite property type which you know well, such as a fourplex. If you have experience converting 2-story 1960s construction homes into duplexes, then search out those property types and offer your solutions there. Next, let's look at ways you can solve problems. To solve a problem, you need all of the information. So the first step is to gather that information, understand why the seller is selling, know the local tax rates, have an idea of insurance costs. Equip yourself with knowledge so that you can provide a real solution. When you have a bit of information, begin to understand what the problem is. Perhaps the seller needs to sell the property quickly, or maybe they just don't want the property, but also don't have any plans with the money from the sale. These are all things you can use to offer the seller a more favorable offer. There are many different ways to identify and solve problems in the world of real estate investing. Find the ways that you know you can provide value and search out those problems. Many real estate investors miss these points and fall into the depths of irrelevance. By not understanding how to identify problems and propose mutually beneficial solutions, you won't be able to provide any value. Understand that you can't solve every problem you come across. Some problems simply don't have solutions, or maybe you don't have the resources to solve those problems, and that's okay. Focus on solving other people's problems, and you'll become invaluable to those around you. Be creative, be sincere, and be great. That wraps up this week's episode of Friday Fundamentals. I hope you're getting value out of this show. If you have any questions or comments, or want to hear something or someone specific on the show, just reach out to me. You can contact me at www.jacobayers.com/contact or connect with me on Facebook at The Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom. Till next week, signing off, I'm your host, Jacob Ayers.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, providing you actionable content to build your real estate empire. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for personal advice. The opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have a potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom, LLC exclusively.